Well, Daryl, just to start off, how much joy has it brought you being back out on the pitch in the last few months?
Yeah, I mean, for the past year, I think this is what I've been kind of waiting for is to be playing, to be, for myself, for my family, for my friends, for the fans and everything. So, it brings me so much joy and, especially knowing the journey that I've had to, get to the moment to, be playing consistently, it makes the feeling even better.
How would you say you feel fitness-wise at the moment? Peak condition or still a little bit to go given the length of time you were out?
No, I mean, honestly, I feel great. When I go onto the pitch, when I go into training, I don't really have any more fears. I think at the beginning, there was obviously, fitness in terms of minutes, in terms of, you know, doubting yourself in terms of like what you can do on the field. But for me now, I think I feel perfectly fine. I feel great, and that's obviously something I'm, so thankful for.
And your return to fitness, Daryl, coincided with the arrival of Carlos Corberán. So what's your relationship like with him? How was he in that initial first few weeks, getting to know you, getting to know the challenges that you've had injury-wise? How has that all come about?
Yeah, I mean, him and I have a good relationship, and I think it's good that, I mean, that's obviously what you want as a player. You want to have a good relationship with your manager. And I think at the beginning of the process when he came here, that was one of the things that he, took upon himself is kind of getting to know each player in terms of how they are on the pitch, what they need, kind of rest, and the kind of workload that they have. And for me, that was one thing is with my injury history, it was, keeping me safe, but at the same time, how can they put me in the same, put me in the best position to be able to play, be able to compete, and be able to, of course, help the squad. And I think, throughout that process, he and the medical staff here have done a very good job at helping me be prepared for, everything, keeping me healthy.
Yeah, he's been here for about 3 months now, so you've worked with him for a fair amount of time. Do you believe, from what you've seen, he is a manager, a coach that can take your game to the next level?
Yeah, of course. I think every single training session, every single day, he's someone who obviously is pushing me every single day. We have individual meetings, we have group meetings, we have tons of meetings, everything. So you can always learn. If you want to learn, he is there for you. Of course, he'll go out of his way, but that as well, if you want to learn, he will 100%, give you all the effort, give you everything that you need, the tools to learn, to get better as a player. And I think not every manager you're going to feel comfortable to do that, or maybe they honestly won't even do that. So, Carlos that's one thing that's incredible about him is how helpful, how eager he is to help you. And not even just him, it's all the coaching staff. I think every single one of them, they all know what they're doing. They're very, very good at their job. And, as a player, you couldn't, especially a younger player, you couldn't really ask for any much more.
He's changed so much, Daryl, hasn't he, since coming in? We've gone from relegation candidates to promotion chasers. But just in terms of the mental side of the game, in terms of the mentality that he's been able to change within the squad, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think one thing about that is, it's the never give up, the never give in kind of mentality. He always stresses that a lot, and I think you can see that in our games. I think you see from the first minute every single time, we're always trying to, you know, be in control of the game no matter what. And then even towards the game, I think even when things may not go right, we always have a positive mindset. We always are there to work. We're always gonna, in terms of every single match, give our best, give our all. I think it shows in a lot of the results. Even the Luton match not too long ago, we go 2-0 down. And, whereas, maybe earlier in the season, we might have, maybe hung our heads and been a little bit doubtful. But, even when we're 2-0 down away, we're still looking at each other, happy, smiling, getting ready, knowing, okay, we can get back into this match. And I think, credit to him, credit to players, credit to the guys, everyone. Of course, it's a little bit easier when you're winning, of course. But yeah, I think that's one of the main things that changes the attitude.
Talk us through that first goal of yours at Sunderland. It was such an emotional moment, given everything that you'd gone through to get to that point where you're scoring for West Bromwich Albion.
Yeah, the first goal was cold, very cold game. But I remember, obviously it was a great ball. Jed, of course, as always, serving good balls. And I think, after I scored that, it just almost like a big sigh of relief, big relief kind of came over me because as a striker, of course, that's what you want. Of course, for me, it was to be playing, it was to be on the pitch. But scoring a goal is something that it's very important to me. And turning around and seeing how happy everybody else was, made me feel even better because they've seen how hard I've worked, they've seen what I've been through, and even my family, friends, everyone, fans, of course, everyone was, behind me in that moment, and it made me feel great because I think it shows a lot of people kind of seen what I've been through a little bit. Say it's not anything that crazy, but but you know what I mean. I want to be playing and stuff like that. So a few people have seen what I've been through, so it's nice to see how positive they are and happy for me as well. And of course, I'm happy for myself.
And a few weeks later, first game of 2023, you got your first goal at the Hawthorns. That must have been a special moment too, Daryl.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's one thing scoring away, but scoring at home, scoring in front of the fans, helping get the result is something that is also something very, very important. And so, yeah, another one scoring in front of everyone, seeing everyone cheering, everyone happy, of course. Again, we won the game. I don't think you could have really asked for much more. And starting off a new year, you really want to start off on the right note. So winning, scoring, coming off the pitch healthy, everything, it's everything you could really ask for. And yeah, that goal was a pretty important goal as well.
I think people would be forgiven, Daryl, for putting a lot of expectation on your shoulders. You came over from the MLS, having done so well at Barnsley. You were, a big name that joined us 12 months ago. But it's easy to forget that you're still young. You're 22. You are living away from home. You've had your injury difficulties. With all that in mind, do you feel that you are mentally stronger now, sat here, having gone through all that?
Yes, 100% I'm mentally stronger. I think, obviously, I never want to get injured. I'm not going to go and say that I want to get injured. But getting injured for such a long period of time, one, made me learn more about my body, made me learn, what it likes, what it doesn't like, how to take care of it. But obviously on the mental side, in terms of how to stay positive, how to, how to think through things, how to not, get down about certain things and let them kind of eat your life. Because I think it's very easy to do that, to have something to feel sorry for yourself and, rather than thinking, how am I going to bounce back? And I think having that injury, of course, having all the, the good support group I have around me as well, I think mentally, it's something that people will say, you don't want, but at the end of the day, for me, especially at a young age and, young part of my career, it's something that's very important. I think it'll, carry on to my entire career.
Just talk to us a little bit about support back home from family, friends, even football fans back home in the US when you bump into them. What's it like, and how often do your family and friends get over to games?
Yeah, so the support is honestly, it's incredible. I think here you have support. I have support here. People always, greet me. I always talk to fans. I'll be everything, and even on social media, I'm big into social media, so I get to reply to people, talk to them on that, and then back home, I think it's the same thing, because I think because the states are so big, I think it's every player kind of has a different story. And I think each fan kind of relates to each person's different little story. And I have, fans, I have people who kind of, I guess, relate to my story. And it's nice to hear them, their supporting words and stuff like that. Maybe how I've helped them, how I've, made them happy, even just, watching football, watching TikToks of me on social media. So for me as a person, it's, it makes me happy to know that I can have that effect on people, of course. And it pushes me to continue doing them, to do more. And my family, of course, is, the number one person group for that. I think every single game, I'm calling them after, talking to them. They're talking me through the game. Even sometimes if they know it was a, poorer game, they'll, maybe something to cheer me up, get my mind off it, something like that. And it's great. And even because of the distance, it's a little bit difficult for them to come here, but luckily for December 18th through about early January, they were able to come. They caught 3 games, so it was good. And of course, that's the first time being here, crammed in my tiny apartment. But no, it was good to have them here because they've never actually seen me in person in England. So it was good to, one, show them around, and then also, be able to play in front of them.
Tell us a little bit about your relationship with Brandon Thomas Asante. We've noticed that off the pitch you spend a lot of time together. You're always staying out late after training with extra shooting drills and stuff. Similar age, similar stage of your career, but both fighting for the one spot. What's that like?
Yeah, I mean, me and Brandon, we obviously, as you said, we get along. I mean, he's the homie. I think, I don't really know. We just make jokes. Just funny. We'd same interests kind of thing. So, naturally we just kind of get along. And then even in terms of on the pitch, like you just said, we're in the same position, but I think that's what makes us both better players. We both obviously want to succeed. I want him to succeed. He wants me to succeed, and we push each other every single training session. I think that's kind of how our bond has kind of grown because obviously off the pitch, we're best, we're good friends. We hang out, we do things, but on the pitch, there is still that little competitive nature about us, but it's like friendly, it's good competitive that, it drives us both to be better. I think you kind of see in the results. There's one game he'll start, he'll score. One game I'll start, I'll score. Come off, I'll score. He'll score. You know what I mean? So it's kind of, and you can kind of see you can kind of see the competition. But in the same breath, you'll see, the support after a game. He'll come, pick me up if I didn't do well, or if I thought I didn't do well. Same thing from me to him. He'll score, screamer, something like that. I'll be the first person to be, super excited for him. But I think that's just kind of the relationship we have, and it's good for both of us, of course, and the whole team.
How much belief is there in this squad right now, in your opinion, Daryl?
Oh, tons of belief. I think every single game we go into every single game thinking we can win every single game, and I mean we've done that in a lot of games. So tons of belief, and those are expectations now. Before it was, oh, can we climb up the table? Can we climb the table? Now it's, of course, we want to go up, and I think we can do that. So. It's not even just the players, it's, the staff, it's everyone sees it, the fans, everyone. So I think for us, it's just, continuing what we're doing, continuing to learn, get better, and, competing every single game.
It's a cliche, I know, but the Championship's such a crazy, crazy division. It's just a few points that separate maybe third, fourth, right the way down to, 16th, 17th. It's so tight. Does that make it more exciting for players? Would you prefer it that way, knowing that if you do lose a game, there's always next week and you can climb back up, 4 or 5 places?
Yeah, of course. I think that's one thing is you think, oh no, maybe we don't have a chance. Maybe we don't, maybe if we lose this game, then, we're going to drop down. But it tells you that, one, you're so close. You're so close to, climbing up the table. Just a few points, you can continue to climb up the table. But also it gives you that extra motivation, thinking in the back of your head, okay, we can, obviously it's maybe seen as a little bit of pressure for yourself, but it's, oh, these people are close, we have to get the job done. We have to continue working, and we can't slow down, Even though we've had a big streak, even though we're climbing up the table, we cannot slow down. And so that's kind of how it is for us, and it's great, and it's chaos. It's fun going into every single match knowing that, okay, this is going to be a hard game. Doesn't matter if they're 16th, doesn't matter if they're 4th, it's going to be a difficult game. And, it gives us that mindset to always be ready for no matter what, whatever opponent we're faced against.